Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pettit National Ice Center. I'm Gordon Sepperin here today with SpeediCast, bringing you U.S. Long Track Junior Championships. It's a cold morning here in Milwaukee, but we're up and at 'em, ready to get started with the ladies 500 meters in about 7 minutes. Please feel free to let us know if you're experiencing any issues in the chat on the side of the stream screen. And we'll be back in a couple minutes here for the start of Junior Championships. All right, folks, we're just about ready to get underway with the ladies 500 meters. Up in the first pair, we have Natasha Gakovic skating as a single, starting on the inner lane. And she's off, and that starts racing today here at the Pettit National Ice Center. Here for U.S. Long Track Junior Championships. Natasha going to open up with a 12.61. Her PR on the season is a 44.06 with a solid opener here. She should be able to beat that time, and I think the ice crews here have been working very hard to try to get us some fast ice. Here she comes. She's got 7 seconds to beat her PR, and I think she'll do it. Here, it's going to be close as she crosses the line with a unofficial 44.49. So not too far off her personal best time. Up in pair number 2, starting on the inner out of Illinois, we've got Maya Gakovic. On the outer, we have Nastasia Rudilovic. Maya's best time of the year is a 47.86. Rudilovic, a 46.47, so both of them going to have to set new personal best times as they want to take over on the leaderboard. And our second pair of the morning is underway. Maya opening with a 12.73. Did not get the time tick for Rudilovic. Maya with about a quarter of a second slower opener than her sister. Here they come onto the home stretch. Going to have to put in an impressive lap here, and it looks like Natasha is going to stay on top of the leaderboard here as they come up to the finish line. And Rudilovic finishing with a time of 46.64. Just off her personal best. Waiting on the time for Maya Gakovic. Up next, we've got pair number 3. Starting on the inner, we've got Emily Boss out of Minnesota. Her season best is a 46.28. And on the outer out of Wisconsin, we've got Claire Kudlata. Her season best is a 44.6. And she will have to beat that time in order to get the top spot on the board. We've got 7 pairs of ladies here for the 500s. I'd like to give a quick shout out to John McLennan, announcer for the Salt Lake Oval, also runs the speedskatingresults.com, is Skyped in here to provide some up-to-date times and statistics along with a leaderboard. So thank you, John, for doing that this morning out on Mountain Time. And we have a slight delay here while they figure out the timing system. And it looks like they've got it solved here as we'll bring the skaters back out to the start line. Again, this is Emily Boss on the inner and Claire Kudlata on the outer. And now pair number 3 is away. And both skaters will have to set new PR times. They want to get on top of the board. Solid openers as Boss opens with a 12.33. Kudlata with a 12.45. Still going to need an impressive lap. Boss will be on the outer here. They're coming out side by side. That's Kudlata on the inner, coming down the home stretch. And this one's going to be close, folks. And it looks like Boss will just edge out Kudlata with a 45.97. Kudlata with a 46.01. That's a season best time for Emily Boss. Up next, starting on the inner out of Wisconsin, we've got Audrey Steffes. On the outer from Washington, we have Talia Staley. Audrey season best of 44.78. Talia's best at 43.12. So Talia with the potential to get on top of the leaderboard here in pair number 4. Let's see what Talia opens up with here as she has the lead at the 100-meter mark. She opens up with a 12.02. I believe that's the fastest of the day so far. Audrey with a 12.42. Changing lanes on the backstretch as they head into the final turn. And here they come down the home stretch. Talia with a 15-meter lead. And she'll cross the finish sub 44 with a 43.99. Audrey with a 44.92. Some very solid times there, as that, according to the board, has them at 1 and 2 through 4 pairs. Up next in pair number 5. Starting on the inner out of Minnesota, we have Gia Griffiths. Her season best time, a 43.69. On the outer from Utah, junior world team member last year, Abigail Sorensen. Her season best, a 42.88. Brian Melinda, our starter, barking out the orders at the start line. And our first false start of the morning. As we bring him back around to get resituated at the starting line. And this time they get away clean. This is pair number 5. We've got 2 pairs to go after this, with 2 more Junior World Team members coming up. Griffiths opening with a 12.04. Sorensen with a 12.45. With that opener, Griffiths could challenge for the top spot here in the early hours of this Saturday morning. Coming on to the home stretch, and now they're side by side. Sorensen making up some ground here, and she soars into the lead on the inner. And she'll post a time of 43.12. Griffiths with a 43.8. I believe that should have them running as 1 and 2. Up next in pair number 6, out of Utah, we've got Lindsay Woodbury, season best of 42.56. On the outer, we've got Piper Edie out of Wisconsin with the best time this year of 42.05. Both skaters with the ability to challenge for a top 3 spot here. And pair number 6 is away. We've got 1 more pair of ladies coming up after this. It looks like a good start from Edie on the outer. And she goes sub-12 with 11.62. Woodbury also with a quick opener at a 12.07. She's going to have a good lap, though. They head on to the backstretch. Woodbury heads to the outer. Edie heads to the inner. And Edie's going to pass Woodbury before they enter the corner. Here they come, Edie on the inner. This could be a very good time. She's got 50 meters to go. And this could be a new personal best. At the finish, Edie with a 41.97. That is a new personal best time. Woodbury with a 42.86. Not far off her season best here at sea level. And that will move them to number 1 and 2 on the board with 1 pair remaining. In our final pair, starting on the inner out of Minnesota, we've got Greta Myers with a season best of a 41.24. On the outer, we have Ellie Fuchs with a season best of 42.29. Greta, a member of last year's Junior World Team. Going to need some good times here if they want to claim the top spot in the ladies' 500 meter. And both of them going to open very quickly. Myers with an 11.05. Fuchs with an 11.11. Myers switching to the outer. Fuchs to the inner on the backstretch. Myers with about a 15-meter lead. I think they'll come out pretty close to even here. And Myers with a huge lead coming down the home stretch. She hits the line and stops the clock with a 40.52. Fuchs with a 41.58. That should have them at 1 and 2. And that, I believe, is a new personal best for Greta Myers. And that is a personal best as well for Ellie Fuchs. So some fast ice here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, thanks to the efforts of Paul Golomsky. We're going to take a short break for a timing change. We should be back in about 3 minutes for the men's 500 meters. All right, folks, welcome back as we get ready to start the men's 500 meters. Event number one will be a solo skated by William Silk out of Butte, Montana. His father, Dave Silk, a Olympian back in the day. Williams' season best time is a 45.01, and if the ladies' times were anything to go off of, we've got some fast ice here in Milwaukee. So we could see a new personal best time from the Junior C. And William Silk is away. We've got 9 pairs for the men's 500 meters. William, the only Junior C male here this weekend. He'll open up with a time of 12.17. Could get under 44 seconds here with a solid lap. Silk coming through the final corner on the outer. Onto the home stretch. It's going to be close. But he will get a new personal best time with a 44.51. New personal by half a second. Up next in pair number 2, starting on the inner out of Illinois, we've got Carl Tatelli with a season best of 41.48. On the outer from Minnesota, we've got Kyle Blood with a season best of 46.75. His personal best is a 43.79. Tatelli also does short track speed skating with the ASE program. And here we go with pair number 2 for the men. And they're going to open faster than silk with 11.46 for Tatelli and 11.63 for Blood. They're already coming through the final turn. We could see some new personal best here, and here comes Tatelli flying down the outer lane. He could go sub 40 here, and it's going to be close at the finish line, and he'll be just off. But he'll have a new personal best by over a second with a 40.44, and Blood with a season best with a 43.52, and that is also a new personal best for Blood. So the ice very quick here in Milwaukee. We're seeing half second to second personals here out of the men. Up next in pair number 3. Starting on the inner, we have Milan Jostis out of Minnesota with a season best of 45.03. On the outer, Ben Weber out of Minnesota with a personal best time of 42.36. And we have our first fall start for the men today. So now with the one false start charged, both skaters need to be careful on the line, as the next false start will result in a disqualification. And they get away cleanly here on the second try. Again, this is pair number 3 of 9. Milan opening with an 11.64. Ben with a 12.18. Currently, top time held by Carl Tatelli with a 40.44. Here they come onto the home stretch. It's Jostis in the lead on the outer. And he'll finish with a time of 42.22. That's a new season best. And did not get the time for Weber. Up next in pair number 4 on the inner out of Minnesota, we've got Caden Barber. His season best of 41.5. On the outer, we've got Keith Keovan from Illinois. His personal best and season best is a 40.51. He's within a tenth of the time set by Tatelli. And they're going to do a quick timing check here.
be on the stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
You want to be a well-oiled machine, and to do that, you need to be fueling your body with the best of the best.
운동선수로서 제가 항상 피크에 시합해야 되고 훈련해야 되지만
If I don't put the right things into my body, it won't perform when I ask.
And they got the timing system sorted out here, so we are ready to get underway with pair number 4. And a false start as the officials will corral the skaters back to the line. Unofficially, the results for the ladies: Greta Myers wins by over a second with a new personal best of a 40.52. Ellie Fuchs with a personal best finishes in second with a 41.58. And Piper Eady with a personal best finishes with a 41.97 in third. Now back to pair number 4. Trying to chase down the time set by Tatelli. Barber opening with 11.27. Giovan with a 11.24. Both with the potential to challenge the time set by Tatelli. Maybe we could get our first sub 40 500 of the morning. Here they come onto the home stretch. It's Giovan in the lead by about 10 meters. He'll hit the line, and he'll finish with a 40.57. I believe that'll put him in second place. Barber with a 41.46. Giovan just 6/100ths off his PR and best time of the season. Up next is pair number 5. Starting on the inner out of Minnesota is Axel Leopold with a season best of 40.35. On the outer from Wisconsin is Robert Crawford with a season best of 41.46. And another false start here as the men antsy on the line, trying to squeeze out every 100th that they can. And this time, pair number 5 gets off the line. Leopold with a sub-11 opener at a 10.91. Crawford with 11.96. Leopold could go sub-40 here. Here they come onto the home stretch. It's Leopold on the outer, leading by about 10 meters. Digging for the line. And no time posted for Leopold here. Crawford will finish with a 41.74. And after that opener, Axel was in good position to challenge for the top time, but didn't see where he crossed the finish line in relation to the clock. See, they might hold this next pair up to check the timing system again. Coming up in pair number 6, starting on the inner out of Illinois, we have Jersey Hitler with a season best of 40.38. On the outer, we have Tommy Fitzgerald out of Connecticut. His season best, a 38.48. Fitzgerald coming over from short track, moving out to Milwaukee this year. The all-around champion at the Lake Placid Oval. Yeah, it looks like the error of the timing system isn't too major. Currently the top time still a 40.44 set by Carl Titelli. Fitzgerald going to be leading here at the opening split. He'll go sub-11 with a 10.8. Hitler with an 11.42. Fitzgerald leading from the outer as they head on to the backstretch. This could be a very good time. Fitzgerald to the inner, Hitler to the outer. And here comes Fitzgerald, and he's got a huge lead coming down the home stretch. At the finish with a 38.47. And that is a new season and personal best for Fitzgerald by 1/100th. Hitler finishing with a time of 41.21. So that'll put Fitzgerald on top of the board with 3 pairs remaining, and there are some very good juniors coming up. We've got pair number 7 with the inner featuring Cooper McLeod out of Washington. He's got his season best, a 35.33, which I believe is the new U.S. junior national record. And on the outer out of Wisconsin, Jordan Stoles with a season best of 35.74. If they can get something in the mid to low 36s here, be a very good time at sea level. A 35 would be absolutely insane. And here they go. Pretty close as we come up to the opener. And they'll just miss going sub-10. Stoles will open at 10.03. McLeod opens at 10.19. They head on to the backstretch. This is going to be a fight to the end. Stoles moving to the inner, McLeod on the outer. And Stoles might get the better of him as they come onto the home stretch. It's Stoles leading on the inner. This is going to be a very good time. Stoles hits the line with a 35.45. McLeod with a 36.07. Stoles not that far off the U.S. junior national record here at sea level. This is some very fast ice in Milwaukee. And they're running 1-2 on the board with 2 pairs remaining. An incredible race for Stoles and McLeod. Up next in pair number 8 on the inner out of Utah is Dylan Woodbury. His season best, a 38.06. On the outer in Frederick out of Utah with a 37.2. Ian's dad, Danny, running one of the cameras for us today. Oh, thank you, Danny. Skater way back in the day, hailing from Alaska. And it's good to see some old faces here at the Pettit National Ice Center. Opening time for Frederick, 10.6. Woodbury, 10.84. They're going to need to have some very good laps if they want to crack the top three. Off their season best, they have the capability to do so. And they're going to come out side by side onto the home stretch. It looks like Frederick has just a hair of a lead over Woodbury as they hit the line. And Frederick with a 38 flat, Woodbury with a 38.03. That'll put Frederick into third and Woodbury into fourth. Woodbury not, actually that's a new personal best time by 3/100ths. And now we have the final pair for the men. Starting on the inner out of Minnesota, we have Augie Herman, whose season best is a 37.99. And on the outer, from Wisconsin, Jonathan Tobon, his season best, a 37.04. Jonathan, a member of last year's Junior World Team. And a very good all-arounder. Jonathan's made the Junior World Team 2 times. And he was a 2-time medalist at the 2020 Youth Olympic Games in Switzerland. Tobon opening with a 10.49. Herman with a 10.78. Very strong openers. Need to be careful on the backstretch. Tobon able to get to the inner without being impeded by Herman. Here they come out of the final turn. And it's going to be Tobon leading the way down the home stretch. He won't challenge for the top time, but he'll finish with a 37.3. Herman with a 38.35. And that is just under 3/10 behind Jonathan's season best in the 500. That'll put Tobon in third overall unofficially, with Herman slotting in sixth. Those results unofficial. Now we'll take a resurface break as we'll prepare for the ladies and men's 1,500 meters. We'll wait to hear on the restart time. We'll be back. So it looks like we're only running 2 minutes behind schedule. I think we'll be back in about 40 minutes, roughly. But we'll post the time here once we hear it. We'll be back.
Come on, EJ. Stay down and attack now. Down that right. Stay down, stay down. Low and build. That's it. Solid there, Brady. Came up a little bit on this first exit, though. The finish was nice. 8-7. Now you got to build these turns. Down. Nice and level. Good weight transfer. Good deep sit coming out. 7-6. There you go. There you go, Paige. That's it. Rhythm. Keep the weight transfer.
Welcome back, folks. We're just about ready to get underway with the ladies' 1,500 meters. Got 7 pairs going. The first one's going to be a single featuring Claire Kudlana from Wisconsin. Her season best is a 2-minute, 22 seconds flat. The 1,500, they start at the beginning of the backstretch. Oh, it's just shy of a 4-lap race here. With the fast ice conditions here, I think we could see some of these ladies go under 2:10 today. And possibly all of them rewrite their personal best. Claire going to open with a 29.99 to get us started. Difficult race to skate as a single. You've got nobody to chase on the backstretch or to pick up that slight draft off of, just to get that little bit of help going down the backstretch. Oh, a very, very difficult race to skate as a solo. Here she comes up to 2 laps to go. Currently running at a 105.81. Again, her personal best is a 2-minute 22 flat. And she should be coming around up to 1 lap to go. If she can keep this under 39 seconds, she could have a new personal best time. She's heading into the final turn. She's got 100 meters to go. I think she'll be just off of her personal best pace. Again, a tough race to skate as a single without anybody to chase. She'll finish with a 2:24.5. Just 2.5 seconds off her personal best. Not a bad race. Skated as a solo. Also don't know if that best time was skated here or out in Salt Lake City. Up next, we've got pair number 2 with Emily Boss out of Minnesota on the inner. Season best of 2:32.59. On the outer, we have Ellie Fuchs out of Wisconsin. Her season best, 2 minutes 21.95. I'd say there's a pretty good chance of them going faster than their personals, or sorry, their season best with the ice conditions we have today. It's Boss in the black, Fuchs in the black and red, leading the way on the outer. Fuchs opening with a 28.08, Boss with a 29.39. They head back onto the backstretch. Well, looks like the Junior Admirals might be gearing up for a game today here on the East Rink. Here comes Fuchs on the inner. Ellie A2. Currently her split has her running 4 seconds faster. So if Fuchs can keep up her pace, she would run a 2:06 with the loss of seconds per lap. Should come in around a 2:12. Currently 6 seconds ahead of the pace set by Kudlata. So Fuchs trying to get in under 2:20. And she will be pretty close to that pace as she comes onto the home stretch. It's a long 100 meters to finish off this 1500. Oh, she's going to have this by a handful of seconds as she hits the line with a 2:17.91. Huge personal best time for Ellie Fuchs. And Boss finishing with a 2:23.68. A new season best and not too far off her personal time. Next, we've got pair number 3 on the inner out of Wisconsin, Natasha Rudilovich. Her best of the season is a 2:21.66. On the outer, we've got Maya Gakovic out of Illinois. Her best this year, 2:34.56. Both ladies looking to try to improve on their personal best times. Rudilovic is the same as her season best with a 2:21.66. And Gakovic is also a 2:34.56 for her personal. Rudilovic opening with a 30.19. Gakovic with 31.93. Coming up to 2 to go, and Olu flying down the deck here to go fix the scoreboard for us. I've got Rudilovic at a split of 32.59. They're waiting for them to get the clock sorted out. Coming up to 1 lap to go for Rudilovic. Her split running at a 39.3. Going to be real close. Trying to chase down 2 minutes 20. Here comes Rudilovic on the outer. I think we'll be just off the pace for a 2:20 finish. We'll have to wait for them to double check those times in the timing system. I got a 2. Waiting on Jeff here for the time announcement out of that last pair. We're going to move on to pair number 4 here for the ladies. On the inner out of Minnesota, we have Gia Griffiths. Her season best, 20.29.6. Audrey Steffes on the outer from Wisconsin. Her season best, 2:20.14. Current time to beat is 2:17.91. So Rudilovic had a 2:23.65, and it was 2:33.26 for Gakovic. Griffiths opening with a 28.74, Steffes with a 29.35. So Rudilovic in that last race was a 2:23.65. Gakovic was a 2:32.06. Now that was a new personal best time for Gakovic in that last race. Griffiths leading here with 2 laps to go. Griffiths coming up to the bell lap. And Griffiths on pace for something in the low 2 teens. And it looks like we lost the clock again. Coming up to the finish here, we'll have to wait for the manual timing time on Griffiths. And here comes Steffes across the line. So we'll wait to get those times. Unofficially, Steffes with a 2:20.48. And roughly we're going to take a timing break here, folks. So we'll be back. As they sort out the board, we'll be back shortly.
People know me as a volleyball player, but I'm a cross trainer as well. I run, I lift, I do yoga, and that means sore knees, that means sore back, that means sore everything. KT Tape helps me push past it.
Serious athletes use KT Tape to relieve pain and aching muscles and joints. Super easy to apply. Use it for many common injuries. Get it today at a store near you or buy online and get 20% off.
With KT Tape, I know that I can perform at my best.
KT Tape. Train longer. Finish stronger.
From Olympic podiums to local clubs. From daily training to international competition. USANA has been by our side. As we start another decade as partners, we say, thank you.
So in that last race for Gia, we had a 2:14.27. which is a season best by over 15 seconds. And for Audrey Steffes, we had a 2:20.82, just off of her season best by a little over half a second. And just like to wish the World Cup team luck out in the Netherlands as they got started this morning. You got Brittany Bowe, Aaron Jackson, Joey Mantilla, Ethan Sepperin, Connor McDermott, Mistoe, and Ian Quinn representing in the World Cup bubble. Oh, this is pair number 5 for the ladies 1500s. We've got Natasha Gakovic out of Illinois. Her season best, a 2:20.2. On the outer, we've got Piper Eady out of Wisconsin with a 2:14.95. And we get a false start here in the 1500. And also like to thank Jay Eady for stepping in as one of our camera operators this weekend. Got him and Danny Fredericks tag teaming camera duty. So top time currently is 2:14.27. Both skaters would need personals. Edie's closer with a 2:14.95. And we'll see what these ladies do on the opener, trying to set themselves up for a good 3-lap stretch. This is Edie on the outer, Gakovic on the inner. Edie opening with a 28.73. Gakovic with a 30.30. That pace puts Edie at running fastest through the opener. Edie now moves on to the inner. Gakovic to the outer. When they hit the line, they'll have 2 laps to go. Edie settled into her tempo. Running a second slower than the fastest time. Gakovic currently running 3 seconds behind. Oh, these ladies could slot into the mid-2 teens. If they could hold the time flat, it would be 2:12. Accounting for the second drop-off, it would be a 2:17. So Edie currently running fastest. Gakovic currently running 3rd fastest with 1 lap to go. Currently sitting 4 seconds behind. And that last lap is a long lap. No, it's the same as the first 3. By that point, your legs are burning, your lungs are burning. And here comes Edie. It's going to be close to the top time. Can she do it? Hits the line. And she'll set the new top time with a 2:14.23. That is a personal best for Piper. Gakovic, 2:21.47, just off her personal by a little over a second. Coming up next, in pair number 6 on the inner out of Utah, we've got Lindsay Woodbury. Her season best, 2:10.94. I imagine she skated that out at Salt Lake City. On the outer, we've got Talia Staley. Her season best, 2:09.14. She's out of Washington. Probably skated that time out of Utah as well. So looking to get close to their season best times here in order to take the top spot on the board. Currently held by Piper Edie with a 2:14.23. We do have some fast ice here, but as you get a little bit longer in the distance, with it being at closer to sea level, you don't have less air resistance like you do with altitude. Staley opening with a 28.86. Woodbury with a 29.11. That would have Woodbury in 4th after the opener. Coming up to 2 laps to go. Pretty evenly matched pair here as they're within 5 meters of each other. Woodbury now gets the edge. And they're both running faster currently than Edie's pace. Clean exchange on the backstretch. And Woodbury now pulling ahead. Could be a 2:13 if she keeps this pace up. Looks like she's 3 seconds ahead of Edie's pace. And Staley is 2 seconds ahead. So we could have a new 1-2 as they head on to the backstretch in their final lap. Into the final turn they go. On to the final 100, and this is going to be close. It's Staley on the inner, and she pulls ahead of Woodbury. And they're not going to be that far off their season best as Staley finishes with a 2:11.95. Woodbury a 2:12.57. So not too far off their personal best. As we said, the ice is pretty quick here in Milwaukee, thanks to the work done by Paul Golomsky and the rest of the ice crew here at the Pettit National Ice Center. We've got our final pair in pair number 7 on the inner out of Minnesota is Greta Myers. Her season best, a 2:09.19 on the outer out of Utah, Abigail Sorensen with a 2:09.59. Greta 2:09.19. Oh, these two junior world team members from last year going to have to put up a very solid race. The time to beat is 2:11.95, currently held by Talia Staley. So we're underway with the final ladies pair. And it's a quick start for Myers on the inner. Opening with the fastest split of a 27.05. Sorensen second fastest with a 28.87. Now this will be close at the end. Sorensen is an A1 this year. Myers a B2. Staley having the fastest season best time, also a B2 as well. Myers currently running fastest by 3 seconds. Sorensen running second fastest, 2 seconds behind. But I think we're going to see Sorensen start to pull Myers back in here. Coming around to 1 lap to go. Myers still leading, and this could be under 2:10 if they hold this pace. There's the bell for 1 to go. Myers 5 seconds ahead. Sorensen only 2 seconds behind. But that last 400 really sucks it out of you. Myers going to try to hang on here through the final turn. Sorensen needs to gain some ground. Here they come onto the home stretch. And Sorensen is starting to close the gap a little bit. Myers going to kick. They've got 50 meters to go. Sorensen trying to chase her down. It's going to be close. And Myers with the top time of 2:06.24. Sorensen 2:06.56. Those aren't just season best. Those are new personal best times. As we said, folks, the ice is fast here in Milwaukee this weekend. So unofficially, Myers takes the top spot for the ladies 1,500 meters. Coming up next, we've got the men's 1,500s. But some nice times there skated by the ladies. All right, we're going to take a 3-minute timing break here while they get reset, so we'll be back shortly. All right, folks, we're back for the men's 1,500 meters now. We've got 9 pairs in event number 1. It'll be a single skated by Keith Keovan out of Illinois. His season best, a 207.97. If the ladies are anything to go off of, should see some season best times here. We got a test shot on the timing system, so Keith's going to have to wait a little bit longer before his solo race gets started. Again, very difficult to skate the 1,500 meters as a solo. The 500 doesn't matter so much because it's just like a drag race. You're trying to go all out from the get-go. The 1,000 even, you might lose a little bit of a draft depending on how the positioning works out for you, but the 1,500, very difficult to skate as a single. And all around, just very difficult to skate anything over 1,000 meters with not a whole lot of race preparation this year. You know, it's different than pack racing where you can kind of gauge yourself off of everybody else. Whereas this, you're trying to be your own metronome and keep your pace. And essentially, it's a fuel efficiency race, and you're trying not to blow your engine up at the same time. Now, Keovan gets off cleanly here. Well, Keith looks like he's settled in nicely here. He'll hit the line with 3 laps to go, opening with a 26.27. Here comes Keith, up to 2 laps to go. His grandfather is a speed skating coach in Japan, so across the Pacific. Keith's lap there, 29.96. Just waiting on the calculation for his possible finishing time. He's coming up to 1 lap to go. You can start to see the pain and the discomfort settling in. And he could, if he can hold this lap time, he will run under 2 minutes, which would be a new personal by 8 seconds. So Keith trying to get under the 2 minute barrier. Be a good spot to be at as a B1. Coming onto the home stretch. And you can see the suffering in the body language. Will not get under 2 seconds. I think he'll just get under his personal best time. And he will, as he beats it by a full second with a 2:06.97. So Keith sets the mark to beat and sets a new personal best. Up next in pair number 2, starting on the inner out of Minnesota, is Kyle Blood. His season best 2:24.86. On the outer out of Minnesota is Milan Yastis. His season best 2:40.14. And they'll get a clean start in pair number 2.
Pair 2 is now underway.
And Milan jumping from the outer to the inner. That's going to be a disqualification, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, Milan crossing over to the inner on the home stretch. And now he crosses back over, so he's forgotten which side he was on. And not sure how much racing he's had this year. So right now, Blood, the only one running here that will have an official time at the finish. But that's what happens when you don't get a whole lot of racing in over the course of the season. There's muscle memory almost to come out of that corner and want to dive to that other lane. It's one lap to go for Blood. I think he'll be off the pace of Kiovan. Unfortunate set of circumstances here for Yastis. Blood coming onto the home stretch here on the outer. Going to be close to a 2:10. And he will get it in at 2:10.55. That is not only a season best by almost 15 seconds, that is a new personal best by 2 seconds for Blood. Unfortunately, the time for Yastis will not count with the improper lane change here on the home stretch. That'll bring up pair number 3 with William Silk out of Montana. His season best of 2:14.75 on the outer. Ben Weber does not have a season best, but has a personal best of 2:15.15 for the skater out of Minnesota. Oh, pair number 3 is free and clear of the starting line. Currently holding the top time is Keith Kiovan with a 2:06.97. And skaters need to be careful of those lines here. I believe if it's 2 infractions, results in a disqualification. Silk going to open with a 29.54. Weber going to open with a 30.49. Coming back onto the home stretch, coming up to 2 laps to go for pair number 3. This is Silk on the outer, Weber on the inner. Silk with about a 20-meter lead over Weber, but currently off the pace set by Keovan. Silk, the lone C2 male skater in this event. Unfortunately, Junior Worlds did get canceled this year due to all the COVID concerns. So all the A and B skaters who would be vying for those spots will still technically make the Junior World team, but will not be going to Junior World. Silk, 9 seconds off the pace. Weber, 15 seconds off the pace set by Keovan. Well, that could be a glitch in the timing system here, as time to beat is 2:07. Here comes Silk up to the finish, and I think he'll get a personal best time as he slips in under 2:15 with a 2:14.12. So that's a personal best by over half a second. And here comes Weber to the finish. And he'll finish something in the 2:20s, 2:26. We're going to have a 1-minute delay for an ice repair.
So growing up, my dad placed me in, I think, every single possible activity you can imagine. So traditional American stick and ball sports. So basketball, baseball, football. I did track and field. I swam. Any physical activity, I was doing it. Definitely in the beginning stages, it's quite important to just be free flowing and just learn how to move. That's a really important component. I think all of the sports that I did early on in my career, before I took up ice speed skating, were very important for me throughout my career as a short track athlete.
Ready to begin our next pair, which is pair number 4 with Robert Crawford out of Wisconsin on the inner. His season best, a 2:03.67. On the outer is Axel Leopold. His season best, a 2:21.46. Both these skaters are A1s this year. They've got 1 year left of junior eligibility. Leopold leading the way as they hit the opening split, starting with a 27.34. Crawford with a 27.91. Coming up to 2 laps to go. Crawford in the lead on the outer. Currently running 3 seconds off the pace set by Keovan. Coming up to 1 lap to go at the end of the home stretch. Leopold Crawford in the lead as he's got one to go. Looking for something under 2:10 here. Here they come onto the home stretch. Crawford could be setting up for a new season best time. He'll get the top time with 2:05.23. Leopold 2:09.03. But Crawford not too far off his season best time. Leopold will get a new season best by 12 seconds. Up next in pair number 5 on the inner out of Minnesota, we've got Caden Barber, his season best, 2:29.94. On the inner out of Illinois, Carl Titelli with a 2:07.73. And pair number 5 gets off the line cleanly. Top time set by Robert Crawford at a 2:05.23. Titelli opening with a 27.51. Barber 27.82. Coming up to 2 laps to go. Titelli in the red and black, leading on the inner. Titelli looks like he might be running fastest currently on these splits. Titelli trying to chase down that top time. Looking for something under 2:06. Would be a new personal best time for Titelli. He hits the line with 1 lap to go. Currently running fastest. But that last lap, you could drop 3 seconds. Potentially. So Titelli does not have a whole lot of time to play with. And it looks like he's actually keeping his pace as he heads through into the final turn. Here he comes onto the home stretch. Trying to leave it all out there. And he'll get in under 2:05. Finishing with a 2:04.74. And that puts him on top of the leaderboard. Here comes Barber to the finish with a 2:15.43. That is a season best by about 14 seconds for Barber. Well, a 3-second personal for Titelli puts him on top of the leaderboard. See if he's able to hang around for long, because we've got some fast big guys coming up here with Tommy Fitzgerald out of Connecticut on the inner in pair 6. His season best, 158.44. On the outer is Gerald G. Hitler out of Illinois with a 202.27. Fitzgerald in A2, Hitler in A1. And there are some impressive season best times coming up in the next 3 pairs. And just waiting on the starter to call the men to the line. After this pair, we'll have Dylan Woodbury and Augie Herman in pair number 7. In pair number 8, we'll have Cooper McLeod and Jonathan Tobon. And finishing off the men's 1500s today will be Jordan Stoles and Ian Frederick. With the season best times we're seeing in the last 2 pairs, we could see something under 150 today. And a false start for pair number 6. I think it's safe to say that Brian Hansen's junior 1500 meter national record will stay intact. That's a 144.45. That was skated out at Salt Lake in 2009. We could still see some very good times out of these last 4 pairs. Pair 6 is away cleanly after the first false start. Fitzgerald leading the way on the inner with the blue sleeves. And he'll set the new fastest opener with a 25.91. Hitler with a 27.16. Fitzgerald making the transition from short track this year. He stands at about 6'3", 6'4". Got 2 laps to go, and he's currently running fastest. Hitler about 2 seconds behind Fitzgerald. Coming up to 1 to go for Fitzgerald. Has about a 40-meter lead on Hitler. There's the bell for the final lap. Fitzgerald running about a 1:55 pace right now. That would put him well under his season best and personal best time of 1:58.44. Here comes Fitzgerald onto the home stretch. Trying to get under 1:58. And he'll be just over 1:58 with a 1:58.18. Hitler with a 2:01.92. Again, that's Fitzgerald with a 1:58.18 and Hitler with a 2:01.97. That puts them at 1 and 2 on the board. And it's personal best for both of them. You've got 3 pairs remaining. In pair number 7 on the inner out of Utah, we've got Dylan Woodbury. His season best, a 1:54.25. On the outer out of Minnesota, Augie Herman with a 1:56.01. So the benchmark to beat set by Tommy Fitzgerald. Dylan, the brother of Lindsay Woodbury, who made the junior world team last year for the ladies. And they'll be pretty close at the opening split, as Woodbury was at 25.12, Herman with a 25.17. Coming up to 2 laps to go. Woodbury on the outer now, Herman on the inner. Herman not letting Woodbury get too far ahead of him. Woodbury running the fastest pace so far. Could see maybe a mid 155 out of this pair. Coming onto the home stretch, Woodbury back on the inner. Maybe a 10-meter lead coming up to 1 lap to go. And Woodbury might be running a low 150 if he can keep up this pace through the last 400. Yeah, if Dillon can hold on, it'll be about a 153. And he might even better that here in this last lap. Here he comes down the home stretch. He's not going to be far off of sub 150. And he'll cross the line with a 152.13. Herman with a 155.22. Again, that's Woodbury with a 152.13 and Herman with a 155.22. That moves them to 1 and 2 on the board. That is a new personal best time for both of them. We've got 2 pairs remaining. Up next in pair number 8, out of Washington on the inner is Cooper McLeod. His season best, a 147.89. And on the outer, out of Wisconsin, Jonathan Tobon with a 149.61. Jonathan, part of last year's Junior World Team, twice a Junior World Team member. And this should be an excellent pair to watch. McLeod an A2, Tobon a B2. Let's see how they skate on this fast ice. Expect McLeod to open a little bit faster than Tobon. And he will with a 24.36. Tobon 24.71. Let's see how they set up. Coming up to 2 laps to go. Pretty even as they come onto the home stretch. Tobon gaining some ground. They'll run even at the split. Within 3/100ths of each other. Tobon just edging out McLeod. They head on to the back stretch. Here they come up to the penultimate corner. Tobon leading the way. They're running 1-2 on the board by a couple of seconds. Need to be careful that exchange on the backstretch. Able to execute it cleanly. McLeod to the outer, Tobon to the inner, and now Tobon's going to pick up a lead coming onto the home stretch. Can he get under sub 150? It's going to be close here. Down to the last 50. Here he comes to the line. And Tobon will do it with a 149.88. McLeod with a 150.9. Not personal best or season best, but very, very good times out of those two here at the Pettit National Ice Center. And now we go to our last pair, pair number 9, with Jordan Stolz out of Wisconsin on the inner. His season best, a 149.64. on the outer is Ian Frederick out of Utah with a 151.88. Benchmark to beat is 149.88 set by Tobon in that last pair. Okay, there's a chance here that Tobon could be unseated. But it's going to take a great effort by this last pair to do so. It's going to be Stoles leading the way. Expect him to open up pretty quickly here, especially after that fast 500. He'll open with a 24.6. Frederick with a 25.36. Stoles earlier in the men's 500 was not far off from the junior national record. Just a testament to how fast the ice is this weekend at the Pettit. Stoles looks like he's currently running fastest on the board. Would expect his first 2 laps to be faster than Tobon. We'll see what happens in this final 2. Stoles, though, looks like he's set and comfortable here as he comes up to 1 lap to go. I think this is going to be pretty close. He's just off of Tobon's pace. He's going to have to pick it back up if he wants to get under 150. Stoles coming out of the final turn on the outer. It's going to be close here, folks. Here he comes to the line. And he'll set a 149.73. Just barely edges out Tobon. A superhuman effort in that last lap by Stoles. He was off the pace with 1 lap to go. Manages to find a little bit more in the tank and get the top spot in the 500 and the 1500 today. Ian Frederick with a 157.42. And that will conclude the first day of racing here at the Pettit National Ice Center. I'd like to give a quick shout out and special thanks to everyone who contributed to the 2020-2021 Oval Fund. Without their generosity this season and this championships would not have been possible. It was amazing to see so many members of the speed skating community come together to support long track speed skating in Milwaukee at the Pettit National Ice Center. So thank you to all of those who donated to make the ice happen here in Milwaukee. And obviously the ice is very good this weekend with some of the times we've been seeing. We'll be back tomorrow. Should be a 9 o'clock start. We have the men's and women's 1,000 meters to run, along with the ladies' 3,000s and the men's 5,000s. And that will conclude everything today. Thank you for tuning in here on SpeediCast. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.